Hi everyone, this is Jiba Torado with Real Change Ministries. I am so excited that you have chosen to watch this video. This week we are focusing on our core values, one of them being the R for relationships. And so we're focusing on relationship. As you can tell, the video is called Critique versus Criticism. Now, I don't know about you, but I know that in living and doing relationships with people, we have encountered one of these two things, whether it is critique or criticism. And a lot of times, people can use the terms interchangeably, not understanding that they have two separate meanings. And so I kind of just wanted to talk briefly about how that plays when it comes down to doing relationship with other people. Now, if you see me looking down, it's because I have some notes and I don't want to go on a tangent and talk forever. So my notes are going to help me stay on point. Now, one of the things that we have to understand first and foremost is the difference between the two words. When you think about criticism, it is by definition to find fault or judge the merits. And critique is more so a critical review or commentary, usually dealing with literature, art, or a specific topic. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because last week we shared our welcome video to our ministry, and I was in conversation with a friend of mine, and my friend pointed out to me that while they were excited for our ministry and they were excited for what the Lord was doing, they asked me to work on what it is that I'm doing whenever I'm not talking, if I'm doing a video with my husband, Pastor Tito. And I'm not going to lie, immediately I had some defense antennas grew out of me, and I wanted to say, and I actually told the individual, I don't believe that I have the most pleasant poised face. And if I'm not smiling or if I'm not expressing some kind of emotion with my face, I have a tendency to just look mean. And so my friend was, okay with receiving what I had to say. However, they were loving enough to tell me that this is something that I may need to consider to grow in. And so I was very appreciative of the critique that was given to me. You see, the Bible talks about in Proverbs 27 verse 17 that as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. And so when we are doing relationship with other people, we want to be in relationship with people who sharpen us. And so my first question is, are you in relationship with people who sharpen you? It doesn't always have to be a spouse or a significant other, but your friends and the people that you associate with at work. Do you have a group of people in your life who make you better? The Bible says that in Proverbs 19 verse 20, to listen to advice and accept discipline, and at the end you will be counted among wise. And so when we have people in our lives who critique us and give us feedback from improvement, it is a blessing, it is a joy to have that, because they love us enough to want to see us do better. But oftentimes when we hear critique, we can sometimes place it in the category of criticism and are quick to jump on board and say, well, they're hating on me, or they're jealous, or they don't know what they're talking about. And so it is important to make sure, one, you evaluate the people that you have around you. Are these people whose lives and fruits demonstrate a love for you and demonstrate something that you aspire to? Most of the time we are quick to take critique from people professionally, but we don't like people speaking into our lives and cultivating us spiritually or emotionally. And therefore, you meet certain people who are very mature professionally, however, they're very immature spiritually or emotionally. And so you want to surround yourself with people who can cultivate growth in you, not only in one area of your life, but in multiple areas of your life. And I think that's very important. So even though within myself my defensive antennas went up, my friend is someone whom I respect and I trust, and I know that they want the best for me. Therefore, I am taking what they're saying into consideration in hope that I will grow in that area that they brought up to me. You know, the Bible talks about in Proverbs 12:26 that the righteous choose their friends carefully. And so it's very important that you surround yourself with people who are going to help you grow. Choose them very carefully. Now, I want to make a distinction between criticism and critique. I was able to get this from a book by Judy Reeves, which is titled Writing Alone, Writing Together. And this book is more so talking about writing, but I think it can be applied to our lives when we were doing relationships with other people. Now, it says that criticism finds fault, whereas critique looks at the structure. Criticism looks at what is lacking, whereas critique finds what is working. So my friend was very kind to say to me, hey, great video, so excited for you, and found what was working. Criticism condemns what it doesn't understand. Critique asks for clarification. Now, even though my friend didn't ask for clarification, when I was able to express to my friend that, you know, my face is not the most pleasant when it is poised, the individual was able to understand. However, they say, you know, you might want to consider working on X, Y, and Z. Criticism is spoken with a cruel tone, very sarcastic oftentimes. However, critique is more with a voice that is kind, honest, and objective. You see, in Ephesians 4, verse 14 through 16, the Bible says that we should no longer be children tossed to and fro, which is talking about, spiritual gifts and doctrine. However, it says, but speaking the truth in love, we may grow up in all things and causing growth of the body for the edifying of itself. And so, even though that is talking about our gifting, and yes, we are all people who have gifts in different areas and different aspects of our lives, but we want to be people that are continuously growing and are speaking to each other in love and critiquing each other in love. It says criticism is negative, whereas critique is positive, even about what isn't working. Criticism is vague and general, whereas critique is concrete and specific. And so I just want to encourage you guys, as you are doing relationships with other people, to really make sure that you, one, have people around you that are sharpening you, two, that those people who are giving you counsel and who are giving you certain critiques about different areas in your life, that you are applying them and in return growing. And at the same time, that when you are critiquing other people, that you are speaking the truth in love. Well, I hope that blesses you, because it definitely blessed me as I was pondering on it. And please share with someone if it blesses you, and hopefully it would bless them as well. Thank you so much, and you have a wonderful day.